In 2026, the story of Massachusetts will no longer revolve around prestigious schools or a booming tech market. But importantly, a quiet crisis is unfolding right in the places we once considered safe retirement homes. I have witnessed over 40,000 people quietly packing their belongings to leave the state in just the past year. This isn't just a number on a report, it's the disappearance of communities we've spent our lives building. Few people realize that the value of their home, their biggest asset, is evaporating right before their eyes. And here's the crucial point. The cities we once trusted the most are now the ones suffering the most severe shock. My journey began in Pioneer Valley, where Holyoke emerges as a poignant reminder of a lost golden age. An old friend of mine here broke down in tears when he saw his property tax bill skyrocket while his water pressure weakened due to a dilapidated pipeline system. But importantly, when the infrastructure collapses, housing prices here also plummet as an inevitable consequence. Leaving the valley, I followed the Merrimack River toward Lawrence, where overpopulation was pushing human patience to its limits. I have seen families forced to live in cramped and illegal basement apartments with rents as high as $2,200 a month. And here's the point. The tension at these gas stations has become a constant nightmare for anyone who happens to stop by after work. Moving closer to downtown Boston, Chelsea emerges with its upscale apartment buildings reflected in the water. But few people notice that, right behind that glamorous facade, there is a silent exodus of the middle class, as the cost of living has become unbearable. I've spoken to retirees here, and they're selling off assets to protect their last remaining capital before the market completely freezes. My journey continued south, where Fall River and New Bedford were bearing the brunt of ambitious but unfinished railroad projects. But importantly, the promises of prosperity have not materialized, instead leaving a heavy tax burden on those preparing for retirement. I saw for sale signs plastered all over the planned routes, where expectations had turned into utter disappointment. The further I ventured into the state center, the more striking the contrast became. Especially upon arriving in Fitchburg, once a cheap refuge for Boston workers, it's now a utility trap with unbelievably high winter heating costs. And here's the crucial point. The startup homes we once dreamed of are now losing value every day because no one is able to maintain them. And leaving the city center, I crossed the picturesque Berkshire Hills to reach Pittsfield. But few people noticed that the natural beauty couldn't mask the 40% drop in property values when the remote work wave officially ended. I have witnessed investors who were once eager to buy homes here now accepting significant losses in order to get out as quickly as possible. My next stop was Springfield, where the paradox between record high taxes and poor public services is pushing residents to the brink. A longtime grocery store owner here had to install 3 extra layers of iron doors just to protect the few remaining assets he had. But importantly, this instability triggered a wave of property sell-offs, causing property values in the area to hit rock bottom. Located near the coast, Lynn is also caught in this whirlwind, where urban regeneration plans remain nothing more than beautiful drawings on paper. And this is the crucial point. The disconnect between reality and policy has caused a collapse of public trust, leading to the evaporation of life savings invested in real estate. Finally, my journey ended in Brockton, the epicenter of neglect and forgetfulness from the state government. I once stood at a once bustling intersection and distinctly sensed the unsettling silence of a dying real estate market. The record low police response time of just over 20 minutes was the final straw that finally led the retirees to decide to leave. But more importantly, banks are starting to tighten lending in this area, turning the dreams of many to escape their predicament into a dead end. However, not all areas in Massachusetts face the same challenges. Some areas, such as Franklin County, still attract retirees due to lower costs and better long-term stability. Today I want to hear your opinions, because your experience is the most important data we have. If you live in Brockton or Springfield, please share your story in the comments below. Is police response time as bad as the 2026 report suggests? Or are we missing something? But most importantly, tell us whether you'll stay to fight for the future or if you've already started looking for a way out. Please stay safe on the roads, and thank you for contributing to the discussion about the future of Massachusetts.